And we're back to episode. I feel like if I'm gonna jump in after this long of a break, I should have definitely at least checked what episode we're on. But I didn't. I think it's like 15 or 16. Um, there was a joke at the beginning that explaining the joke now kind of loses its effect. Well, anyways, the "and we're back" was a barbershop joke, kind of from a long time ago, but that doesn't even it's not even really relevant anymore because they don't do it. But if any of you so happen to be in the barbershop community, um they have a live stream of their international convention every year. And in the live stream, they used to, after, like, because it would, like, there would be the quartets, and then there would be, like, this little section interviewing, like, the quartet that went, like, that was, like, just on stage or whatever. And they used to go, "And we're back." And they don't do it anymore because they're kind of lame now. Okay, that was mean, but what can I say? Yeah, it's been a minute. I don't really know exactly what happened. I guess just like being back home for break just wasn't a vibe. And that's about the best explanation I can give it. It just wasn't a vibe. Why do I feel like this was not in the background before? Like, I know it's been here this whole time, but I just feel like it wasn't actually in the background before. Probably because I sat like this. That makes a little more sense, actually. Yeah. Great. I don't know if this is going to be distracting or not. I got myself an essential oil diffuser. Because over break I got a cold that turned into like a mini sinus infection. And it was like so dry in my house that every time I would go to sleep, I would like wake up and my throat would be so sore. Because like the first symptom I had, how I like started getting sick, and this is kind of the same whenever I get sick, but this time I had like the worst sore throat of my life. And then I got sick like the next day. Which is super fun. Don't recommend. But yeah, I had like the worst sore throat of my life, and that's kind of how it started. And then like every night for like the next like 4 days, I would like wake up in the middle of the night like needing a cough drop because my throat was so dry, or like I just couldn't go to sleep because my throat was so dry and hurt so bad, which I'm a singer, so that is like awful. It's like I hate it so much. But one of the tests to actually see if you're singing correctly is when you're sick, obviously not with a sore throat, but like towards the end when my sore throat was gone, you can still sing and it should still feel okay for you to sing. Obviously, don't like you shouldn't be like stressing yourself, but you should be able to sing when you're sick. Not a lot, obviously, but this is kind of distracting me. The scent I have in there right now is pumpkin chai. It's a universal fragrance oil, which I thought was really funny that that was a thing. Rather than an essential oil, I have orange and cinnamon essential oils that were in it before, and I switched the scent yesterday. I like this one. Chai is one of my favorite scents, like ever. Yeah. I've recently come to the realization that the fall scent that I thought I hated is not the scent that I thought it was. Because there's this specific, like, genre of fall scents, and it's like the same factor in every scent that is just disgusting to me. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's just gross to me. And I thought for the longest time that it was pumpkin. But this is pumpkin and chai, and this smells lovely. And I also have a fragrance mist that's pumpkin latte, and this also smells nice. So the scent factor is not pumpkin. And I don't know what it is now. Because now so I guess I just have to smell them all individually, because I like apple scents, but sometimes the apple scents are bad, which doesn't make sense. I have a feeling that it's caramel. That is the scent factor, but I was wrong the first time when I thought it was when I thought it was pumpkin. So who knows? If I figure it out, I will let you know. My recording schedule is actually going to be a little bit different this term because my college schedule changed naturally. So last term I would record Mondays and then set them to upload Tuesday at 12 a.m. But I don't really have a good time to record on Mondays. So I'm going to be recording on Tuesdays and setting it for Wednesdays at 12 a.m. But that feels like a long time. But only because my previous, like, release date was Tuesday. So if I just regulate myself to being, like, Wednesday is my release day, which might change again next term, depending on my schedule. What's weird right now is that why it worked last term was Mondays. My roommate and I had 8:30 theory, and then I would come back here, but she had another class. I don't know how that worked, actually, because the class she had was a short class. But, so I would come back here, she would go to that class, and then, I would record before my other class at 11:10, and then set it, and I could usually, like, edit most of it, whatever. But this term, I don't have 8:30s on Mondays. I have 8:30s Tuesday and Thursday. And I have a 9:50 on Mondays, which is when I would, that's when I would record last term. So that obviously doesn't work. I told myself at the beginning of term that because my roommate has 8:30s Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so I, like, get up around then anyways, I told myself that I was gonna start doing yoga and that I was gonna do it in the morning, and guess what? That didn't happen. We are gonna start doing yoga, but we're gonna do it together and not every day. And yeah, because my college has yoga classes like Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and our voice teacher has, like, told us to start doing yoga, and we just, like, haven't. But we need yoga mats, so we're gonna go get those and then start doing yoga. Not today. Today is Tuesday, and they have a class today, but we're not gonna start today. We're gonna start, I think we're planning to start Thursday. Yeah. I'm back at college, obviously. I've actually been here for about a week, but I gave myself some time to, like, settle in and figure out when would be a good time to actually record, because I had to, like, get used to my schedule, whatever. Yeah, because we got back on a Monday, so I obviously wasn't going to do it that day, and then it was like, oh, I have class Tuesday. Whoa. Which was a kind of a change because I had to go back to my here sleep schedule because my sleep schedule at home is fucked. Like I would sleep in till like 9 or 10 depending on when my mom started yelling. And then I would go to work. I worked a lot over break. That's part of the reason I stopped recording episodes was because I worked so much and I was tired. Because my work, the shift that I work is 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. So I would go to work, come home. I would be home at like 11:20, find food, hopefully like bust up the gumption to like brush my teeth and wash my face and shit, but that didn't always happen because we know how that goes. It got worse towards the end. I was pretty good in the beginning and then I just got like so tired of it. And then I would go to bed and wake up at like 9 or 10, eat breakfast, and I don't know, I just couldn't. Plus, there's people in my house all of the time. Like here, I can guarantee myself like an hour of alone time. But I can't do that in my house. There's like literally people there all the time. And if there's no people there, then I'm supposed to be watching the dog. So, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of why I like took a break. And every single week, the time would come around, and I'd be like, I'm gonna record an episode this week, and then the time would pass, and I'd be like, whoa, what? So, yeah. Christmas was nice. My family celebrates Christmas. We're technically Catholics. None of us really believe it or want to go anymore. In fact, my siblings and I would really rather not, like completely. The funny thing is, I like the priest at my church. I don't like the church. Yeah, I don't like the town. I don't like the idea of the Catholic Church in general. I don't like what Christianity has done to this country, what the two-party system has done to Christianity. I don't like it. So I only pull out the Catholicism card when I'm arguing with like a super Christian Republican who's arguing about some kind of rights, and then I pull out, well, I'm a Catholic, so shut up. Because I was raised that way. I went through all of the schooling. So like I went to like religious ed for like as long as I like pretty much elementary all the way to like high school. I know the shit, okay? So don't try and come at me with your Christian garbage because I know you're making shit up and just twisting words to be what you want. Plus, this is gonna be harsh, but it's a made up little book. Okay? It's a made up little book. So yeah. Don't try and run the government with it. You know, and even if you don't think it's a made up little book, you still shouldn't run the government by it because other people have their made up little books that are different from yours. And you wouldn't want them to run the government with their little made up book. So, yeah. Don't try and run the government with your little made up books. There's like, I was confused about my religious beliefs for a while because the foundation that you should be kind to everybody, help those in need, and like that stuff I believe in. And then in action, modern Christians just like ignore that and like don't do any of that shit. Like, when did Jesus ever say that you should pull yourself up by your bootstraps? Never. Never. Ever. Like, that's like the antithesis of Jesus. So, I don't know, it's just weird to me that these people have those ideals and then claim to be Christians, but I don't really believe in any of it, but I like some of the ideas, but then the ones that are actually associated with like Christianity nowadays are the awful ones and the gross, disgusting ones. So, yeah. And just the history of like Christianity and its role in like violence and oppression throughout history. Ugh. But, oh, I like the priest at my church because he's been arrested at multiple protests. One was against a war at some point. I can't remember which war. And then the other one was at a Black Lives Matter protest. So he's got these like nice stickers on his car about like accepting other religions and treating people nice. There is, of course, an anti-abortion sign in the church parking lot, but I don't know that that was his decision. And you can't win every battle. So, yeah. That may just be the town, but it's also just sitting in the church parking lot. Anyways, what else? I'm kind of hungry right now because I haven't eaten breakfast. But I could. Oh, I discovered Cinnamon Crunch popcorners the other day when I was at Target, and they're pretty good. The first bite I took threw me off because I was like, this doesn't taste like what I was expecting, because there's still a bit of that like savory saltiness, but then it's also sweet, so it threw me off for a moment. But then I ate more of them and they're pretty good. So yeah, saw a lot of my cousins for Christmas. That was a quick turnaround. We're going back to Christmas. I saw a lot of my cousins for Christmas. I have a large batch of cousins. There's like 22 of us total, counting me and my siblings. And this is like the first time we've like all been there in a while. Actually, my graduation party. Everybody was at my graduation party in like July. I think everybody was there. But I got to see them. We did a cousin, like, kind of Secret Santa thing. Which is funny because, like, the younger kids, it's like from their mom, which is really, it's funny. I got a really cool sweater from it. And then the cousin I got also likes Heartstopper, so I embroidered her a sweatshirt. Like, I put the 2 speech bubbles on it that say hi, and then I did little, like, leaves in a couple different colors. This is the right. I'm like gesturing to the correct side of my chest that the design would be on, because I put it on left side chest, which is the standard location for logo embroidery. And I know that because that's my job. Industrial hooping in the embroidery department. So I could tell you like pretty much like where a logo is supposed to go anywhere like on a shirt. Unless you're trying to put it like center front, because I don't do that very often. But and it also like depends on the size of the shirt for like left side chest and right side chest. Cause like I think a large is 7.5 down, 4.5 from center, and double XL up is 8 down, 5 from center. Yeah. The most random pieces of information. There were multiple times when I was like working this job over the summer where I would be going to look at the tag of a clothing item that I had like just bought or just got to find like the washing instructions, and I would find this style number, which is something that I would need to like look up if I didn't know how to hoop it, or if I didn't know what backing to use, like if I was supposed to use tearaway or cutaway, or like what color. Well, no, that's not where I would find the color, but there was like a 6-digit number on the tags, and I would be like going to find washing instructions, and I would look down and I had found the style number. I was like, this is not what I was looking for. My voice teacher was very nice to me in my lesson last week. Kind of strange, but you know, it's fine. We've been working on my coloratura skills because I am not a coloratura soprano. It gets a little confusing because there's two, like, in classical singing, there's two general, like, things that is coloratura. Coloratura singing is like fast movements, like what we would consider like runs in like pop music, like fast movements. And then there's the fach, or like singer type of singer, a coloratura, which they just sing a lot of the super fast stuff, and they can normally do it much faster than the other types of singers. I'm a lyric, which is like the most common, like a pretty solid lyric. Yeah. But my voice teacher has been working on like my flexibility with me and everything because I was so bad at it before. I would just get in my head about it. And she explained it to me in a way in my last lesson that just made something click. She said, "You just change notes at the speed of your vibrato." And I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense for some reason. So you like find your natural rhythm, and then you feel that, and then you go with that, and that's the tempo you should be singing at. You shouldn't be singing any faster or slower. Two of my friends are coloraturas, also in my studio, and one of them, she's telling me all the time, she's like, I just need to go faster because I can't do it slower, which is not a problem that I have. Yeah, it's very interesting. But I was like, mind blown. That's why coloraturas, like the soprano type, normally have faster vibrato. That's why they can go faster, as their vibrato is faster. Mind blown. It was great. Yeah. I have a new collaborative pianist this term. Last term I had a lady that was like a professional that she's like hired, and so she like does that. And now I have a second year piano performance major. They're like required to accompany vocalists, I think, maybe instrumentalists, I don't actually know. But so I have like an assigned an assigned collaborative pianist that we like meet with once a week, and then they also show up for like half of my lesson. I'm very excited, but I'm also nervous because sometimes I can get really like strange around like peers. So I think it's going to be fine though, because the guy I'm working with seems like really chill. It's so funny because he like walks on stage and he like swaggers and looks almost like so nonchalant, and then starts playing, and it's like he's a fantastic pianist. Obviously, he's at a conservatory for piano performance. But it's just so funny. It's going to be quite entertaining. Yeah. He's also like well known for being like the most good looking pianist in the conservatory. Like, there's an Instagram page for my college that's Missed Connections. The amount of times this man has been on there is so funny. And everybody in my studio is like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, because, he's just there for us. Like, we see him all the time. But then when there'll be like area recitals that he's accompanying somebody or something like that, it's so funny. Also, nobody can say his last name, and it's not even that hard, but somebody just said it wrong, and then like, I don't know, but people just like can't say his last name, and it's really funny. But yeah, so that's exciting, but I'm also nervous. And I was emailing him music last night, and I was like, oh my god, he's gonna need so much music, because he's gonna need like the stuff I'm going to work on this term, and then he's probably going to be my accompanist for next term. So he's probably going to need the old stuff from last term, because third term is my juries. And I don't know what exactly the collaborative pianist rules are for that. Like if you bring the one you've worked with, or if like, I assume you do. But if he does that, he's going to need some of the ones I worked on first term, because those are my, my English pieces. Yeah. Because I've got 2 English pieces, a Spanish piece, which I didn't send him because I don't know if I'm actually gonna, I probably will send it to him, like today after my lesson. I have to see what my teacher makes me do. I have no idea what she's gonna do today. And I told him that in the email when I was emailing him last night, because I was emailing him kind of late, so I knew that he probably wasn't gonna see it until like today. So whatever, like if he has the music for the lesson, he's going to be sight reading it pretty much. But it was funny. I was emailing him. I'm like, here's some of the music I'm planning to work on this term. I have no idea what my teacher is planning to do with me tomorrow, so we'll find out together, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, because I've got 2 English pieces, a Spanish piece, and then an Italian song, a German one, and a French one. And I don't know what she's going to make me do. She might have me work on like diction and pronunciation, in which case he's going to have a fun time just sitting there at the piano. So that'll be fun for him. I guess I can start wrapping it up because that's been kind of a little summary. I'll probably think of more, but whatever. Anyways, my favorite song this week is Reckless Driving by Lizzie McAlpine. And it's really funny because my roommate is also a voice major. And like, whenever one of us gets a song stuck in our head, it goes back and forth between the two of us for like 3 days. So, like, for the past 3 days, um, we've just been, it would be like, "You're a reckless driver." And then, like, 30 seconds later, the other person would sing it. And it would just go back and forth. And it would be just that phrase. "You're a reckless driver." Or occasionally, we would go, "You're a reckless driver." So, yeah. Voice major things. That reminds me that I had a conversation in the bathroom last night. I was getting ready for bed and I was brushing my teeth. One of my friends came in, who lives down the hall, who was also in my studio. And we just had like this long ass conversation about our teacher and like the things she does and the things we've been doing, and like it was so funny. And then this other, like, this violist who's in my theory class was also in there, and then when she was leaving she's like, "Vocalist stuff, that's so funny." Because we were sitting there like it was great. But anyways, thank you if you've made it this far, and if you've hung around. I'm sorry it took so long, but I'll see you next time.